All right, let's dive into a world where one little wish can throw you back 65 million years into the past. In this explainer, we're unpacking the incredible adventure Dinosaurs Before Dark. We're going to follow a brother and sister, Jack and Annie, who find a mysterious treehouse that sends them on the journey of a lifetime, right into the age of dinosaurs.
So the story throws you right in with this panicked scream from 7-year-old Annie. Now, her older brother Jack just kind of rolls his eyes. A monster? Here in Frog Creek, Pennsylvania? Yeah, right. But it turns out what Annie's seeing is definitely not pretend. You see, Annie's monster was actually a living, breathing pterodon, just gliding over their neighborhood woods. So the big question is, how in the world did a prehistoric creature show up in modern-day Pennsylvania? Well, to get that answer, we need to back up just a little bit.
First up, let's meet our adventurers. We've got 7-year-old Annie, who's all about imagination and wants to be friends with every animal she sees. And then you have her brother Jack, who is 8.5, and he is all about facts, proof, and things that are real. And as you'll see, these two very different personalities are going to be pretty crucial to them, surviving what's coming.
The whole adventure really kicks off when they find something impossible. The tallest treehouse they have ever seen, way up in an old oak tree. Jack's a bit hesitant, but Annie, she just scrambles right up. And what she finds inside is something Jack, a total book lover, just can't resist. The whole place is filled, floor to ceiling, with books. So Jack gets inside, surrounded by all these books, and one in particular catches his eye, a book about dinosaurs. He flips it open to this amazing picture of a flying reptile, and in that moment, he just kind of says something under his breath, something that changes absolutely everything.
That little wish, that's the magic password. Staring at the picture, he whispers, "I wish I could see a pterodon for real." And instantly, everything goes wild. The wind starts howling, the treehouse spins faster and faster and faster until it just stops.
They haven't just moved to another part of the woods. Nope, they've made a gigantic leap through time itself. When the world outside finally comes into focus, they realize they've traveled back across ages to a time long before any humans were around. So where do they land? They've arrived in the Mesozoic era, which you probably know as the age of dinosaurs. This whole era is split into 3 parts: the Triassic, the Jurassic, and the Cretaceous, and each one had its own unique cast of incredible creatures. And they've landed right here, smack in the middle of the late Cretaceous period. When Jack looks out the window, the world he sees, with all the ferns and volcanoes, it's an exact match for the picture in his book. They're really there, 65 million years in the past. And what's the very first thing they encounter? The exact creature Jack wished for. The pteranodon lands right near their tree. And what does Annie do? Of course, she immediately climbs down to go say hi, and even names him Henry. This moment just perfectly shows you who Jack is. While his sister is off making friends with a prehistoric animal, Jack pulls out his notebook like a little scientist. He's taking notes, observing facts. It has fuzzy skin, a crest longer than his arm, a mouth like scissors. He might doubt its intelligence, but he is going to document every single thing he sees. As they venture out a bit, they spot this absolutely magnificent creature. Jack, using his book, quickly identifies it as a triceratops, and thanks to his reading, he knows it's a herbivore, a plant eater, so they're probably safe. Although, when a dinosaur is that big, you can never be 100% sure. Their exploring then leads them to this amazing valley just full of nests and baby dinosaurs. Jack's book comes in handy yet again. He figures out they're anatosauruses. He even learns they lived in big groups, with some moms basically acting as babysitters. And of course, Annie is immediately trying to communicate with the giant mother dinosaur. And right as they're taking all this in, Jack finds something that totally doesn't belong, a gold medallion, and it's got the letter M engraved on it. The meaning is just staggering. They are not the first people to come here. Someone else has been to this exact place in this exact time. So all that wonder and excitement from their journey, it's about to turn into pure terror, because they're about to meet the most famous and the most feared dinosaur of all. The friendly Anatauruses suddenly start running away in a panic, and Jack and Annie are about to see why. The description from the book just sets the scene perfectly. They see this huge shadow in the distance, a creature with a massive head, tiny little arms, and a mouth just full of long, sharp teeth. And there it is, the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Jack's book confirms his absolute worst fear. This is the biggest carnivore to ever walk on land, and it could probably eat a person in one bite. Suddenly, the kids are officially on the menu.
Being a carnivore, and an apex predator at that, means the T-Rex sits at the very, very top of the food chain. In a flash, Jack and Annie have gone from being curious observers to being potential prey.
In total chaos, Jack and Annie sprint back towards the treehouse. But Jack realizes he left his backpack behind with all his notes and the dinosaur book. He runs back for it, but the T-Rex comes back, cutting him off from safety. He's completely trapped.
With the T-Rex getting closer and closer, it seems like all hope is lost. But then, a huge shadow comes over him from above. It's Henry, the pteranodon from earlier, swoops down, and Jack, seeing it's his only shot, climbs onto its back and gets carried up into the sky, just out of reach of the T-Rex's snapping jaws. So Jack makes it back to the tree, but the T-Rex is now ramming against it, trying to knock it over. They have to get home, like, right now. They frantically search for the book about Pennsylvania, find the picture of their woods, and Jack just wishes with everything he's got to go home. The magic works, and the treehouse starts to spin again. After a dizzying spin, they're back. They peek out the window and see a familiar sight, their own woods, their own street. And what's even crazier, their mom is calling them for dinner. It's like no time has passed at all. The whole thing feels like it must have been some wild, impossible dream. But then, Jack reaches into his pocket and feels the cold, hard proof, that gold medallion. Their incredible, terrifying, amazing trip was absolutely real. And now they have a secret, a really big one. And that, of course, leaves us with the biggest question of all. That medallion proves someone else has access to this same magic. So who is this mysterious M? Who actually owns the magic treehouse? And what other adventures are just waiting inside its library of books?